Style Slicks, a Q&A spotlight on notable Southern style disruptors who made game-changing career moves in fashion, design, art, architecture, music, cinema, sports, and culinary arts. First up, the Atlanta creative scene. Randi Layne, dancer, model, fashion show producer.
You know, when I think of style, I think about distinction. I think about setting yourself apart. Really, it doesn't matter whether it's fashion or marketing or you know, just being a management person. It's just that special something, that je ne sais quoi. You know, we just don't exactly know what it is, but it defines you, and it sets you apart. My definition of style hasn't really changed with my new career or over time, but I think I've gotten more broad-minded, and maybe my opinion of different styles has changed. You know, I don't necessarily have to like it or reflect a certain trend if I don't agree with it, but if someone else is wearing something that makes them feel good and makes them look good, or they're doing something that makes them feel good or look good, and they radiate, then, you know, I think that's what style is all about. I've experienced success in all of my careers. I mean, in my career as a dance school owner, ballet teacher, I was a great success, and it was really a wonderful part of my life. I enjoyed the kids that I taught. I first dabbled at that point with choreography. I really began to understand staging. And moving into my next career, which was a model, I took a lot of that with me. The grace that I got from dance really helped me on the runway, and you know, and in front of the camera as well. And then moving into the fashion show production business that I'm in now, it really, all of those things came together, and I felt super successful in you know, in just the way that I was able to run my business, to take all of those assets and use them, and to really have success in the industry that I so much enjoy. My career pivot from dance to model was really, it was geographic in one way, because I wanted to move from the Carolinas back to Georgia, closer to my family. The industry was here. That was good for me, the modeling industry. And so that was the first career change. And then the second career change, going from model to fashion show producer, was I really needed a change. I needed something that inspired me, and the production part of things had begun to really speak to me. I wanted to be more creative with my time. Well, owning my own business gave me a great deal of skill sets. It really did. I learned how to deal with people. I learned how to manage my own company. I understood finance. And so that really gave me a great skill set going forward into the modeling world, where I was my own boss. And then when I started my fashion production company, it really, really helped me. All of those management skills, and, you know, how to deal with people, how to be fair and kind. And the creative process kind of went along through all three. So I had a lot of skills that allowed me to, you know, to be successful and do a really great job for my clients in my final business, which is Catwalk. Gosh, my biggest challenge was in my first career change, which went from owning a business, which was Dance Art Studios in North Carolina, to becoming my own brand, which was Randi Layne, the model. It was a huge challenge for me, only because owning my business was one thing. I could make demands on my time in the way that I wanted, but when I became my own brand, it was more like my business owned me, and I didn't have the control that I would have liked. Hopefully everything, really. I mean, that's our business. We're in the business of helping people really reflect their brands and reflect the trends. So our goal at Catwalk Productions, and we work all over the United States, we have clients everywhere. Our goal is to help their vision come to life, really reflect their brand in a way that people understand it and can relate to it. So if we do that, that means our brand is really, is really what it should be. The mood of the country definitely affects style. Oh my gosh. I mean, just recently, this is a perfect example. We're going through the COVID-19 pandemic. All of that's going on. And I just saw a swimsuit designer put out a design, darling little two-piece bathing suit with a matching face mask called a trikini. So that just says it all for me. Our brand reflects current trends by helping our clients get their trends or their brand out on the runway. I mean, suppose they've got like a really unusual trend. Our job would be to set that up so that the general public or just the common person would really be able to understand it. I mean, you see these dynamic fashion shows that are fantastic, and believe me, I love every one of the designer shows. But our job is to get that down to a level where people understand and want to buy the products that we're showing out there. So that's how we reflect the trends in a more understandable way, I think. My funniest career moment was I had just transferred from being a ballet teacher to a model, and this 101-way dress came on the market, and they wanted somebody to show it on the runway and show about 40 out of the 100 ways that you could wear this dress without ever leaving the stage. So it involved a completely nude body underneath, and I had to change the top and change the bottom and switch it all around and turn my back to the audience, which, were gasping at times, hoping that we didn't have a wardrobe malfunction, which fortunately I did not. But it was the most challenging thing for me, and I was a nervous wreck, but at the same time, it was just hysterically funny. And we made it through without any, wardrobe slips, and it was super fun. But yeah, it was pretty funny. That was just really challenging. My biggest failure was starting a business that I wasn't passionate about, and that was called Zero Drivers. It made complete sense to me. We drove people home in their car when they were impaired, or our staff did. If they'd had too much to drink, been overserved, or whatever the case might be, they'd call Zero Drivers. We'd send a driver out. The driver would jump in the car, drive them home in their own car, and we had a follow car that would pick up the driver, and that way they would wake up with their car in their driveway the next morning, which was great. But believe me, dealing with impaired people or overly served people, it's just nuts. It was a very bad idea. And I think not being passionate about it, really just thinking business instead of passion, was a big failing. I measure success in several ways. The first way that I measure it is the joy and the satisfaction I get out of creating excellence. It's really important to me that we deliver a product to our clients that keeps them coming back for more. If we don't have repeat clients, we're not successful. That's the first. Secondly, there's a monetary component to it. I mean, I don't do it just for the money, but I'm not going to do it without the money. So the monetary component makes a difference for us. I want my employees to have a good living. I want to have a good living, and I want to inspire them to want to do a good job. And I think the financial component has something to do with that. Thirdly, it's my ability to give back, my opportunity to share in the wealth or the creativity or whatever it is that I can share with charities or new companies to inspire them or to help them to reach their goals. If I could do anything I want, I would win the lottery, of course, work for free, travel all the time, and try and help other people who are getting into business now, coming into their own, basically. Try and help them not be afraid to take the first steps and just help them along the way a little bit, just to get them started, up and running. And I would do a ton of charity work. Honestly, I would. It really serves me in a way that I can't describe. If you're someone who's at the tipping point and you're really thinking about exploring other career opportunities, first of all, don't wait. Don't hesitate to do it. just do it. I mean, I went from being a successful owner of a dance studio. We had tons of students. And the hardest thing was making the decision to go ahead and change my career. And when I did, and once I committed to it, then I became Randi Layne, the brand. And I modeled all over the United States in every major market, tons of national commercials, several feature films, worked on a soap opera. So just by making that change, I was still able to be a success. And then taking all of those attributes and everything that I'd learned from my first two careers and coupling them all together, I started Catwalk Productions, which is one of the most well-known fashion show production companies in the United States. So don't be afraid to make the changes, because you can really make a difference, and your creativity explodes with each new thing that you try. So it'll just give you kind of a new lease on life. So I say, you got to do it, go for it, don't wait.